Awareness reminds you that there have been numerous movies that have covered many of the things that are now being exposed as realities. You will recall the movie in which the entity had his ear down to the sidewalk, hearing tunnels or hearing a machine underground, boring the earth, boring a tunnel, and everyone thought the entity was insane. This awareness indicates that there have been numerous efforts by some entities to leak information, in some ways to alert the public of these various things. This awareness indicates that most of the information went into movies that were seen as fantasy, and entities were entertained rather than informed. But now that entities are becoming informed and looking back on the entertainment that has been given during the past several decades, these movies will begin to take on a new meaning. This awareness indicates journey to the center of the earth, as well as many of the movies regarding duplicates and clones now have new meaning. Also, that in looking back on the earlier awareness readings in which it spoke of synthetics and robotoids, entities will see that these to take on a new meaning. This awareness suggests the question continued. Follow-up question. I had one question about the shopping malls. Are these designed for humans that are working underground there, or are these used by aliens? Cosmic awareness. This awareness indicates that this acts mostly for humans, but that there also are some shopping places for aliens too. That some instances of human/alien intermingling is present underground, but in most cases, in the higher levels, it is more a human type of society, although in some cases, the more benevolent aliens will also be found in certain areas, intermingling with humans, even in those levels. That in the deeper levels, the aliens have greater domination. Follow-up question. This tunnel machine mentioned that uses atomic energy and burrows, melting the rock. Was this technology given to the United States by the aliens, or did the United States develop that itself? Cosmic awareness. This awareness indicates that it is an alien machine. This has been used down through centuries. It has been modified, but the concept and the initial construction is that which is alien. The more recent development as being a joint construction for and by humans and aliens in cooperation. There are more than one such machine. This awareness indicates that these machines, however, use technology that were of alien origin, along with other aspects that can be understood by human engineers. There were over 650 attendees to the 1959 Grand Symposium. Most were representatives of the corporate industrial estate, like the General Electric Company, BAT&T, Hughes Aircraft, Northrop Corporation, Sandia Corporation, Stanford Research Institute, Walsh Construction Company, the Bechtel Corporation, Colorado School of Mines, etc. Bechtel, pronounced Bechtel, in a supersecret international corporate octopus, founded in 1898. Some say the firm is really a shadow government, a working arm of the CIA. It is the largest construction and engineering outfit in the USA and the world, and some say, beyond. The most important posts in the U.S. government are held by former Bechtel officers. They are part of the web and interconnected control system which links the trilateralist plans, the CRISTMAS, the Orders of Grave Accent Illuminism cult of the All-Seeing Eye and other interlocking groups. Is that information correct? Cosmic awareness. This awareness indicates that this is in the affirmative. That you will recall, especially during the Reagan administration, the scandals associated with many of his cronies, and the connections with Bechtel, that in reviewing these, you will find the above information being pertinent. The Buffet facility consists of a central grave accent hub, the security section, also some photo labs. The deeper you go, the stronger the security. This is a multi-leveled complex. There are over 3,000 cameras at various high-security locations, exits, and labs. There are over 100 secret exits near and around Dulce. Many around Archuleta Mesa, others to the south around Dulce Lake, and even as far east as Lindred. Is that correct? Cosmic awareness. This is in the affirmative. This awareness indicates that there are capes used by aliens throughout the United States, Canada, and South America, as well as in Europe. Many of these are small bases inside mountains that are in more remote areas, that there are underground tunnels connecting many of these. In some cases, the openings are used for the spacecraft for entrance and exits in isolated bases, but in most cases, the bases are connected by underground tunnels. These extend also into Washington, Oregon, Canada, the Aleutian Islands, into Russia, and into most other countries, especially in the northern hemisphere of Europe. So in Australia and New Zealand. There are older bases in South America, in Brazil, in Central America, and in the areas of Chile, Venezuela, and Peru. Deep sections of the complex connect into natural cavern systems. The person who worked at the base, who had engraved accent Ultra 7 engraved accent clearance, reports there may be more than 7 levels, but I only know of 7. Most of the aliens are on levels 5, 6, and 7. Cosmic awareness. This awareness indicates there are 10 levels, that the 3 lower levels have to do with the construction of technological instruments and craft. Alien housing is level 5. Is this correct? Cosmic awareness. This as in the affirmative. This is the level where the aliens live and interact together in their time when they are not involved in their activities of industry. We are leaving the era of expendable resources, like oil-based products. The power of the future is renewable resources. Biologically engineered. The Dulce genetic research was originally funded under the cloak of black budget secrecy. Billions of dollars. Cosmic awareness. This is where the drugs and drug money has been flowing to. This awareness indicates that this as also having received much funding from the NSA hidden agenda and purposes. That much of the enormous tax assessment domination and the great debt that has accumulated over the years is due to this funding. They were interested in intelligent disposable biology humanoids to do the dangerous atomic plutonium rocket and saucer experiments. We cloned our own little humanoids via a process perfected in the Biogenetic Research Center of the world, Los Alamos. Cosmic awareness. This awareness indicates this relates to the synthetics and in Russia, to the robotoids, that the reading continued. Now, we have our own grave accent disposable slave race. Like the alien grave accent Grace BBs, the U.S. government clandestinely impregnated females, then removed the hybrid fetus after about 3 months and then accelerated their growth in the lab. Biogenetic DNA manipulation programming is instilled. They are grave accent implanted and controlled at a distance through regular RF radio frequency transmissions. These act as telepathic channels and telemetric brain advanced research project agency. 2 of the procedures were RHIC radio hypnotic intracerebral memory. The brain transceiver is inserted into the head through the nose. These devices are used in the Soviet Union and the United States, as well as in Sweden. The Swedish Prime Minister Palme gave the National Swedish Police Board the right, in 1973, to insert brain transmitters into the heads of human beings covertly. They also developed ALF and EM wave propagation equipment rays which can affect the nerves and can cause nausea, fatigue, irritability, even death. This is essentially the same as Richard Shaver's cavern talagmite. This research into biodynamic relationships within organisms' biological plasma has produced a rate that can change the genetic structure and heal also. Is that information correct? Cosmic awareness. How Drive Better got his information. This awareness indicates that this is correct, that the instruments which Dr. Better once spoke of in his audio letters as being able to locate and determine what anyone on Earth was doing at any time, is an instrument that was just spoken of, that was made available through his contacts with scientists in Nevada, that they were using these instruments in order to supply him with information for his audio letters. You will recall that often he spoke of entities who would allegedly be at some place, but by his sources would be found to be elsewhere, such as Jim Jones actually being flown to Israel and being thrown out of a plane near the Turkish border, and other instances of a similar nature, wherein entities were believed by press releases and so forth to be in a certain place, and Dr. Better would indicate that they were truly elsewhere. This awareness indicates that this also allowed them to distinguish between the real entity and a duplicate, the double who was replacing that entity, because the vibration of that double would be slightly altered and different. This awareness indicates that Dr. Better also was able to distinguish the difference between the robotoid, synthetic and human, because the human had a soul at the time, but in his later reports and in further technology, the robotoids were even being given the soul. This awareness indicates that this occurred through further alien technology in which the soul of an entity can be severed from the body and implanted into another's body. It is a technology that allows for the walk-in. It also allows for the soul to be put into a duplicate body, a robotoid for example, so that the soul can continue to exist after the first body has been eliminated, and in this kind of action it is almost the same as if the entity had received a new body. That in this sense, and for the purposes of changing the entity from one body to another, the reason for such might be, for example, to alter the memory or alter the philosophy of an entity in moving it from one body to another, by erasing certain aspects of memory. This awareness indicates you will recall that the memory is stored in the etheric, between the mental and etheric bodies, and that it can be altered in the human. It can also be erased, and by taking the soul and these bodies from one physical body and putting them into another replica of the physical body, they can actually bring about a changed person with a different philosophy or